So my journey into fintech actually is both deliberate and accident.
Okay.
Initial plan was to be an investment banker and at some point go into central banking and become the central bank of Nigeria. That was the original plan. And that's why I studied economics in school. And that's why my first job out of the university was at one of the premier investment banks in Nigeria. But while that part was on, I was also doing a lot of reading and exploration. I was, playing with code, or I was
Right.
exploring.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to be just a hobby. So the first thing I built in tech was actually just a game, So
Okay.
I was thinking of like, but along the line, I also stumbled on Program's essays. Program is the founder of Y Combinator. Started like reading about startups and all of that. I was like, okay, actually, you can do tech as actually your job as a company. But this is me still thinking, but I mean, it doesn't sound as serious. It sounds like, what you would just do by the way. The real thing is like you do, banking, go into like, development economics, and then at some point, you go and become the central bank like I'd initially planned. So I was doing that along the way. And then it got to some point where I felt like what I was actually building at the time was getting some bit of traction and I wanted to
Mm.
explore it more. But at the same time, I wasn't sure how to go about it. So I joined the program called MEST in Ghana. It's basically like an entrepreneurship boot camp for 1 year. They get the smartest people across Africa who
Yeah.
are interested in tech entrepreneurship
Mm.
come together and explore different ideas. And while I was at that program was where I met my first co-founder who had worked in payments before then. And at the time, my thinking was I wanted to combine my interest in finance and my interest in technology, which is where the whole exploration of fintech, came in. So that's how I got into fintech.